Hi, today I'm going to be going over adding and subtracting mixed numbers. I'm going to do a basic problem, an intermediate problem, and an advanced problem, and then I'll go over subtraction and do the exact same thing. Okay. When you first start doing adding and subtracting mixed numbers, what you want to do is you want to write them vertically. So I'm going to write this problem vertically. So I write 3 1/3 plus 3 1/3. Sorry, my dog's here. And then, after I do that, I want to first add the fractions, and then I'm going to add the whole number. So I know adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. So the bottom number of this, or the denominator, will be 3. Adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. And then I just add the numerators. 1 plus 1 is 2. Well, that was easy. And you see this fraction is perfect. Now I'm going to do the whole number. 3 plus 3 is 6. And now I'm done with a basic problem. Now let me get the next slide. Now I'm going to do adding mixed numbers, but I'm going to do an intermediate problem. So again, the first thing you do is you write the problems vertically. So I'm going to write them vertically. Now this problem's weird because this 2 is not a mixed number. So if this freaks you out a little, you can just write a fraction here. Adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. So this would be nothing, or 0 thirds. I have no thirds. Okay. So now I can do it. Adding and subtracting is plain. So remember, we first add the fractions and then we add the whole numbers. And this you'll understand why when we get to harder problems. So adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. The bottom is a 3. Okay, it's not always going to be a 3. And then I add the numerators, the top. 0 plus 2 is 2. Now I just add the whole numbers. 2 plus 2 is 4. So that was like an intermediately hard problem. And now let's go to the advanced problems. Okay. They're advanced because you have to regroup, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So the first thing you have to do is do what we were doing before in the basic and intermediate problems. First, we write them vertically. So we write the mixed number vertically. I'm going to write 1 6/8 vertically. I'm adding. Probably should put that there. Okay. Now, now I do the fractions first, right? So I get the denominators. Adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. So that would be an 8. And now I just add the tops. 7 plus 6 is 13. And 3 plus 1 is 4. But watch out. This is why it becomes advanced. Do you see this problem right here? This is improper. We can say it's an improper fraction. You can't leave it like that. So what we're going to do is find the hidden hole. So I'm going to rewrite this, and I'm going to try to find the hidden hole. So I know this is 4. And I know this. I know a whole with the denominator 8 would have a numerator 8. Okay? So I'm just breaking this, I'm decomposing this fraction so I have one whole. And then I'm going to go over here, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So that would be 5 I would have left over. So now you're going to see why it was so cool to learn how to decompose. So now I have this. So I know this one right here, this fraction right here, is equal to 1 whole. So now I'm just going to regroup that. I'm going to say 4 plus 1 whole is 5. Hope you're seeing this. Plus, and then I have the 5/8. Hopefully you can see that. I'm going to move that up just so you can see it better. So this is my answer. So I had to regroup a little and use decomposition to do that. If you didn't understand decomposing that, which means to break apart, watch my video on decomposing fractions. All right, now we're going to go to the next slide. Now we have to do subtracting fractions. So subtracting fractions, we'll start with the basic problem. This basic problem here would be, first you write it vertically, so this mixed number you can write first. Remember, always write the first fraction on top. Do that with both adding and subtracting, because then when you get to subtracting you'll get the answer right. Yeah, I know adding is commutative, but why not just write it like this so you get the subtraction problems correct. All right, so my first number I wrote on top, my second number I wrote on bottom. All right, so it's the same thing. The first thing you're going to do is subtract the fractions, and you're going to subtract the whole number. So adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. That's a 3. And then I owe 2 take away 1 is 1. So easy. And now I'm going to do the whole number. 5 take away 2 is 3. Yay, I'm done. So that was a basic subtracting problem. Now we're going to go over intermediate. Okay, the first thing we do is write this problem vertically. Remember, the first number goes on top, and then the second number, mixed number, goes on bottom, and it has to be in that order. Don't flip-flop them. All right, now here's where it becomes more intermediate. So I have no fraction here, but if I write 0/3 here, if I have nothing, I can't take away 1. So I'm going to have to regroup. So what I'm going to do is go next door, and I'm going to borrow a whole. So I want to borrow a whole. So this would be, I'm like I'm putting 1 whole here. See the 1 whole? Because I know 1 plus 5 is 6. But now I want to change that 1 whole into a fraction. So I have 3 as my denominator, so I'm just going to write 3/3, because we know when the numerator and the denominator are the same, then we know it's equal to 1. Now it's easy. Adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. And then I have 3 take away 1 is 2. Yay, I'm done with that. Now I go to the whole number. 5 take away 2 is 3. So that was an intermediate problem. Okay, and now let's go to the advanced problem. So this problem is just like the other ones. I'm going to write the first number, mixed number first, and then I'm going to write the second number below it. And then I'm going to have some fun, and I'm going to subtract. Adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. I have a 1, but wait, I can't take away a 5. So I'm going to have to rewrite this. So what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to borrow again. So I'm going to go next door, and I'm going to borrow 1 from this. So I'm going to turn that into a 5. And then I'm just going to add 1 whole to the top number. Now, we know 1 whole, to make it a fraction, all we have to do is take the denominator, and when the numerator and the denominator are the same, then we know it's equal to 1 whole. So now I'm just going to rewrite this problem over here, maybe write it like this. I'm going to say I have 5 wholes, right? And now this is my fraction here. See that? So I need to add these together. Adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. And now I'm going to add the numerator. 1 plus 8 is 9. And this problem, I didn't do anything to it, or this number. So I'm just going to write 2 and 5/8 here. Then I'm just going to finish this off. Okay. So first I'm going to subtract the fractions. So adding and subtracting is plain to see. You match the bottoms perfectly. And then 9 take away 5 is 4. And now I'm going to go to the whole numbers. 5 take away 2 is 3. And then I'm done. I hope this video helps.